up? Here's how to become fearless. This is literally a 3-step blueprint I want to give you, which I learned from a $65,000 a year high performance coach. Do not take this stuff lightly. It really changed my life, impacted a lot of my clients very heavily, and some of, obviously this guy's clients as well. So understand that fear guides a large part of most people, their behavior. It is very important to become aware of what fears you have, because then you can start beating them. If you are not aware of these in the first place, they are going to guide you all of your life and severely limit the amount that you are able to step outside your comfort zone and pretty much achieve. First phase in this is identifying your fears. We have to understand the two types. So the first one is fear, which is a direct fear, where there is a fight or flight response. Someone scares you, or you're in an actual life-threatening situation. Your heartbeat goes all the way up. Like, this is a very direct threat, right? Another thing is anxiety, which is a more subtle fear, and this is the one we specifically want to eliminate. So this fear is directed towards a certain event that might take place in the future, but more often than not, it doesn't actually happen. It is just an illusion. There's a great acronym to remember for this. So fear is false evidence appearing real. Most of our fears are simply imaginative, and especially in the modern day society, there's really not that much we have to fear. First question is to have a look at your life and what fears you are actually dealing with. So some ones that I can name is a fear of not being good enough. Pretty much everyone deals with this to varying degrees. A fear of rejection, a fear of loss of love, a fear of criticism, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of poverty, fear of death. All of these things are extremely common. Second phase, to understand your fears. Our brain is a very powerful weapon. It can create either a happy and successful existence, or it can literally create hell on earth, right? For some people, their brain is a haven that created their success, and other people are literally stuck in some center somewhere. This is why it's important to understand how our brain works, so we can start to control it and guide it into the right direction. One of the most important mechanisms for this is the pain-pleasure principle. And this pain-pleasure principle means that everything we do in essence is being done to avoid pain or to gain pleasure. This essentially means that whatever we link to in terms of pain and pleasure is going to shape our future. I wanted to give you the example of Tom, who is an old client of mine who ran a very successful engineering business. He was good looking, he had his habits on point, he was a healthy person, everything was going well for him, he had a great social life even. The only thing he didn't have going for him was a huge fear of rejection, which led to him having a non-existent dating life. In the case of Tom, he had so much pain linked to this fear of rejection that he literally felt physical pain, right? His body would tighten up, his heart rate would go all the way up, and he would associate real pain with approaching women. The reframe we had to happen is we had to shift from, the process, which created lots of pain, to the end goal, because right in this current situation, he had to get clear on, okay, if I do not change this thing, I'm never going to have the dates I want. I'm never going to have the experiences I want. I'm not going to have an adventurous life. I'm not going to have an adventurous, dating life, sex life, whatever he wants to have. He doesn't have the ability to find his soulmate or, an amazing partner. I don't really believe in soulmates, but someone who fits him very well. And eventually have a marriage, a family life, whatever he desires. Once we got clear on that, once we got clear on what he understood, and what to gain, it's very easy to start to take action. Why do we stay in our comfort zone? There's 3 main reasons. So the first one is comfort, right? We have a lot of habits built in us. And then the fear of change, which we already talked about. And the third thing would be linking pain to leaving our comfort zone. Question I wanted to ask here is, what's the underlying message and also the hidden benefit of your fears? Right, so in the case of Tom, the hidden benefit is he didn't have to feel this pain of rejection. So the third phase is eliminating your fears. We all have these fears. They're demons. They're deeply rooted fears that affect our way of living in a largely negative way. And the only way to effectively beat them is to just confront them and take action. This is why we go through this 3-step process, right? We first have to identify it. Once we understand them, the third step is to just take action. But once you understand what you're afraid of, it's a lot easier to tackle. The method to conquer your fears is the 3-step process of pinpointing exactly what you're afraid of, confronting yourself with this fear and accepting it, and then thirdly, simply deciding to take massive action in spite of the fear, with the knowledge that for every fear there is a certain type of action that will lead to the defeat of it. The key in here is to just feel the fear and do it anyway. If you don't dare to do something, then just do it afraid. feelings of fear are not even bad. You just have to stop them from stopping you from taking the actions that will lead to the desired end result. So last question for this is, what specific actions will you decide to combat your fears with in the next days? And I highly urge you to immediately start to take action on this, because, we are all not completely fearless. You can become more and more and more, and I've certainly experienced that myself, but there are still certain fears that I engage with, that I come up with on a daily basis. Even with this video, right? Like, to some extent, I have a fear of what will people think of me with this video. So understand that it is a process. You're not going to become fearless overnight, but work on your fears. And by running through this process, you're going to get a lot better at it. I hope this video is helpful for you. If you have any questions, shoot me a message, and have a good day.